Earlier this year, my Trading 212 portfolio crossed £100,000 for the very first time. Personally, it's a very cool moment for me because it's a proper safety net, a second pension, and real financial security. But whilst everybody talks about getting to £100,000, nobody prepares you for what comes after. I'm talking financially, psychologically, and how that changes your outlook on life. And today, I wanted to share all of that and exactly what changed for me. Here is my Trading 212 portfolio, and what happened during this last quarter I certainly didn't expect. On the 1st of April, the portfolio sat at £89,000. By the 1st of May, it had crossed £100,000 for the very first time. And by the 1st of June, it was at £112,682. In the space of 2 months, the portfolio had grown over £21,000. And I want to be clear, I'm very aware of how these numbers perhaps sound and perhaps may even come across. I'm not sharing this to brag in any kind of way, and in actual fact, I've shared with you guys my portfolio when it was just a few £100, and now I'm sharing it with you at 6 figures. And the reason why I do that is to share with you the insights from a real investment portfolio in order for you to take something away from that. So now let me transparently share where that extra 21 grand came from, because I think that's what matters. In April and May, I contributed £1,000 each month, meaning the other 20 grand worth of gains in the portfolio all came from the market doing the work for me. And within that, I've included the extra £150-ish worth of dividends that I received, which is pretty cool too. But here's where it gets interesting. In June, the headlines actually started to shift somewhat. Admittedly more scarier on paper than in reality, but nonetheless, after a full month, by the 1st of July, the portfolio had made no progress and was sitting at £112,417. I'd invested another £1,000, but by the end of the month, in reality, I'm actually down on where I was at the start of the month. But both of these scenarios tell you mostly about why everything changes after that £100,000 milestone. Because for the last 6 years of building this portfolio, and admittedly an extra 2 years prior to that building a separate portfolio on Vanguard, which I still have, most of the gains that I've seen from my investment portfolio are predominantly from me showing up and consistently investing month in and month out. But I'm also not trying to pretend like I'm the next Warren Buffett, because the truth is the market has done a huge amount of the heavy lifting for me as well. After all, we're basically in one of the best bull markets in recent history, with global equities being up roughly 148% since the market lows in 2020. But honestly, what excites me most about crossing this £100,000 milestone is now that I'm at a little bit of a turning point where the compounding effect on the portfolio is almost rivaling the contributions that I'm able to make. To give some context, the markets fluctuate, of course, so we can't map this out exactly based on my own investment portfolio. But if I share an example with you for illustration purposes only, on a £100,000 portfolio, assuming that the market provides 10% per year, that portfolio generates £10,000 in growth. And I contribute £12,000 a year to my portfolio currently. And those two numbers are not a million miles away from each other. And as the portfolio grows and continues to compound, the gap in what I'm able to contribute versus what the market is providing me is getting smaller and smaller, until at some point in probably the very near future where the market will do more of the work for my portfolio than I will. That's the crossover point that I'm talking about, and I'm nearly there. Because the truth is, whilst I feel like I do a good job of saving and investing a good chunk of my monthly income, the reality is my investment portfolio's growth is or has been still very much reliant on me showing up each month and contributing to it. And therefore, in the past, my portfolio's ability to grow is largely dependent on how reliable I am at showing up each month. But now the portfolio is becoming less reliant on me, and therefore I feel more financially reassured perhaps than I ever have done before, knowing that the market could potentially end up doing a lot more of the work than I will. But equally on that point, whilst the gains have also been fantastic, looking at a portfolio of that size also has its kind of financial anxieties associated with it too. Because whilst we're obviously looking at the upside here, there's also downside potential on the table as well. If we look at the most recent month, the portfolio was only down 0.6%, but that was the equivalent to £736. But it just goes to show just how a small swing in value from a percentage terms can actually be a huge monetary amount. Like in the context of my portfolio right now, a 10% drop would be £11,270, and a 20% drop would be £22,540. And that's a very real possibility that I have to face into based on the historical data about drawdowns that we've seen for the global stock market over the past couple of decades. So the stakes are different now, the emotional weight is different now, and therefore the way I need to think about my portfolio is different too. And whilst we'll dive into the details of some of those elements shortly, now I wanted to share with you what this crossover point looks like when it comes to my ability to actually retire early. If, say, for whatever reason, I'm never able to invest a single penny into my investment portfolio ever again, and if we assume that the portfolio continues to compound at average market returns of the FTSE All World Index, which is 10.74%, and let's say we just knock off 3% for inflation, well, after an extra 24 years of compounding, which would put me at 55 years of age, the portfolio would be valued at £716,650. That's a level of financial security that I've been quietly working towards for many years now, and whilst I think I will always carry a little bit of financial anxiety, because I think we all do, it's still a direction of travel that I think makes showing up each month certainly worth it. But look, for transparency, I do still plan on contributing to this portfolio each month, and I think the next big portfolio milestone for me is probably that £250,000 mark. Now, from where I sit today, I'm roughly £138,000 short, but if I continue to contribute at £1,000 per month, and again, assume average market returns, I'm looking at approximately an additional 5.5 years in order to be able to get there. And then at that point, the portfolio just on its own, just from compounding, could look to generate like a third salary for the household, which would be absolutely amazing. Big goals, yes, and I share them with you in order to kind of keep myself accountable for them. But all of this has simply come from consistency. I've had no inheritance, no big payout, no big chunks of money from parents or anything like that. It's all come from consistency and starting out with a few £100s a month. And I hope that that has come through in these videos over these years to show you the pure transformation that I've had in my own finances. And it's a transformation that I would have never imagined was possible when I first started out in 2017. Now, if you're looking to get started on your own investing journey, or perhaps even if you want to just open a new stock size, well, Trading 212, the sponsor of today's video, are offering all new customers one free fractional share valued up to £100 when you scan the QR code up here on screen, or click on the link down in the description below in order to help you get started. Alternatively, if you do enter the promo code Mitch within the app and just deposit £1 into your account, you'll still qualify for that free fractional share. Anyway, all of this brings me on to something that the late Charlie Munger once said, which was to find a way to get your hands on $100,000, and then you can ease off the gas a little bit. Now, he was right, but what he didn't tell us was how it feels when you actually get there, and that's what I want to share with you next. Okay, now I'm going to share something that I've never shared before, and that's that in my early 20s, my financial anxiety was so high that I was almost obsessive over every penny that came into my bank account. I wouldn't buy anything that I absolutely didn't need. New clothes, would wait for Christmases and birthdays. I would avoid coffee shops like the Play because I was too tight to spend £3.50 on a coffee because I thought it would absolutely destroy my finances. And I even passed up on trips to like Reading Festival with my mates because it was like £200 that I felt at the time I didn't need to spend. But I don't want to make that sound like I was an absolute hermit either, because I also did some really amazing things. I had some amazing holidays and some amazing experiences along the way too. But I guess what I did have was an intense focus on the kind of small everyday expenses. And because of that, it allowed me to achieve some of those bigger ticket things that I had on my list. And I think that comes from the mindset of almost saving the pennies and the pounds will look after themselves. And to be fair, if I didn't have that level of discipline and consistency, I don't think I would have ever managed to build my investment portfolio to the point at which it's at today. But as a result, on reflection, I do feel like I perhaps missed out on some smaller treats at the time, some good nights out and some life experiences that I can't go back in time and reclaim today. But the truth is, even as the portfolio grew from like 10 grand to 25 grand, even up to like 50 grand, there was still something missing. The financial anxiety was easing, yes, obviously the number on screen was getting bigger, but I still had that like scarcity mindset that perhaps 20-something-year-old Mitch had. And whilst the number kept getting bigger, yes, I think my ability to actually enjoy what I was building never quite caught up. But then just about 12 months ago, a month after my 30th birthday, something quite serious happened to me. I'm not going to share the details about that today. Perhaps I'll share it at some point in the future. But that completely changed my whole perspective on life altogether. And in the context of this video, it made me really sit down and think about what is this all for? The portfolio was at a size that was like genuinely a meaningful amount of money, and then obviously this big life event that happened to me, I think then made a couple of different things fall into place. The first is giving myself emotional permission. On a good month when the portfolio is up and compounding is doing its thing, I don't know if this is like a really weird thing for me to say, but it also gives me an element of financial confidence that I never really had in my early 20s. And because of the work that my portfolio does in the background, it also then gives me almost like the encouragement to go and enjoy those smaller pleasures in life, even if it is spending £3.50 on a latte. The second is rational permission. After 9 years of consistent investing, the habit of doing it every single month is totally ingrained in me, and I do it month in, month out without fail. And because I do know that that is happening and has happened, and I've achieved this big milestone, I think now in my own mind I can balance the scales a little bit more and actually start to spend money on the things that I think genuinely add value to my life. So yes, I now pay like 180 odd quid a month for a gym membership, and whilst I'm there I also will go and buy that £3.50 latte whilst I work. And to be fair, 20-something-year-old Mitch probably would think you're absolutely off your head for doing that, and perhaps some of you guys might think the same. But for me, I find it as something that adds value to my life, and therefore, because I've achieved a certain financial milestone elsewhere, I'm kind of more prepared and more willing to spend that kind of money. I think about it more as intentional spending, whereby it's an investment in my health and it's an investment in my work, which for me, I can't put a price tag on. But look, that distinction took me the best part of a decade to figure out, and one very big life event in order for me to have that kind of psychological shift in my mind. But honestly, having that perspective now is worth more to me than any number that I'll ever see in my brokerage account. Okay, I have alluded to this a little bit already, but I wanted to share a little bit more context around why I actually build an investment portfolio and exactly what it's all for. I'm sure many of you can relate to this because we all know it's for some kind of future version of ourselves that future us will benefit from, but for what exactly? I think we're really good in the personal finance space about talking about how to accumulate wealth, but we're absolutely terrible at talking about what to do with it once you've acquired some of it. And because of that, I've tried to pinpoint this feeling for me, and I've managed to find a little bit of research that I really do think hits the nail on the head. In psychology, there's this well-established concept called the hedonic treadmill, and it was thought up by two guys who are far cleverer than me in the early 1970s. The idea is straightforward. It's where individuals adapt to changes in their circumstances, leading to a cycle of ever-increasing desires and temporary satisfaction, resulting in a continuous search for new sources of happiness without achieving lasting fulfillment. Applying this in the realms of personal finance, I'm totally guilty of this myself. Even within this very video, I've spoken to you guys about my next financial milestone, which is the £250,000 mark. And perhaps that's how a personal finance journey is for many of us. We're continuously chasing the next big milestone or the next big number in our investment portfolios. What I've found since reaching a six-figure investment portfolio is that this is very much more a psychological milestone rather than a financial one. Because as I said, there's a lot that's happened in the last 12 months, and it's really made me stop and think about one, what's next for the portfolio, because of course that's important, and two, what is all the money for? I think the answer to that question is personal to everybody, and for me, increasingly, it's becoming less about the number, because as I've said, the compound effect is now doing a good chunk of that work for me, and instead it's now about the freedom that that portfolio will one day provide. Now, I'm very lucky because I do already own my own business and I do set the hours in which I work now. But from the outside looking in, that perhaps looks all glamorous. But the truth is I probably work more hours now than I ever did at my 9 till 5 job. I just replaced that 9 till 5 work with a different kind of day job, I guess. And whilst I don't plan on signing out of this YouTube channel anytime soon, the stock sicer has always been, for me, the ability to own more of my time rather than the need to continuously earn more money. And aside from the personal issues that I've faced, I've also got my own little family now, and I've heard the kids grow up quick, and I really don't want to miss that. So for me, the 100k portfolio is less about a financial milestone, and instead it's more about giving myself more permission to spend more time with the people that I care about the most. Because what I've come to understand in life is that there is an infinite amount of money on this planet, but you only have a finite amount of time on it. From starting out my investment journey back in 2017, I feel like I financially optimized my life at every possible point, and I think now is probably the time to balance the scales a little bit. And whilst the 100k portfolio isn't the full solution to that, it's certainly a huge step in the right direction. But if you want to know how the thinking evolves for many investors starting from £1,000 right the way up to £100,000, I think you might be interested in watching this video next. With that being said, I'll see you over in the next one.